What up, everybody? And welcome once again to Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment. And this is your combat sports show by guys who love combat sports. As always, I'm your host, Craig, with my co-host,
your lamenter of legacies, Michael Johnson.
Beautiful. Wow. Nice wordplay
Last
there.
minute, too, on the way over.
Alright, we had... The only word I have for this event is epic. Epic. I don't think I've ever seen so many finishes.
Yeah.
In one, historic finishes in one event. This was awesome, so we're gonna jump right into it. In the lightweight division, Joel Alvarez, 17-2, going up against 24-9-1 Alexander Yakovlev.
Yeah, Yakovlev. Looked a little uneasy. Big kicks from Alvarez to start, up and down. Yakovlev with the takedown attempt with his head straight up in the air. Almost got himself guillotined immediately. Fights out of it impressively. But then Yoel he stayed in his guard. And Alvarez gets the armbar from the bottom, sinks it up nice. Kid's a pro.
There he is.
Submission, round 1, 3 minutes.
Women's flyweight division, Liana Jojua, 8-3, going up against 9-2 Miranda Maverick.
Miranda Maverick with a hell of a debut.
Oh boy, it was.
She has some nice hands, combos going. Busted her nose up early, and then
with a mean elbow.
The elbow was too much right at the end of the first round. You know, she busted her up with punches early, had her nose bleeding, but then she landed that lead elbow. She was southpaw, and she was coming in with that, threw it upwards. You know, busted her open. They couldn't stop the blood whatsoever.
Yeah.
Doctor had to call it. And round 1.
And you saw the disappointment. She begged him not to. But I think it's a fair stoppage. Like, that blood was pouring.
Yeah, there was no way to stop it. It was only going to get worse. Yeah. You know?
But Miranda got hands and ground game.
Absolutely.
So it was beautiful to watch. We'll see what happens with her in the future.
It's good to see a flyweight prospect.
Exactly. And she's already saying she's here to climb all the way to the top. Ain't no half-stepping for Miranda.
Yeah.
In the light heavyweight division, Jung Da-un, 13-2, going up against 33-4, 1-0 contest, Sam Alvey.
I think this was the toughness of Alvey. Because, forward pressure from Jung all fight.
Going
just
hard.
Straight at him. Alvey, though, with movement and toughness, taking shots, landing back with some combos, decent counter shots. Very entertaining fight. I thought Jung Da-un was going to get him in the third round with that big elbow. He knocked him down with short, left elbow. But Alvey stayed with it with toughness. And that pretty much evened up the fight. And they call it a split draw. And I can't really disagree.
You know what? I got to say, I can't disagree. I hate majority draws.
Yeah.
But if there was ever a time for one, this was it. Sam Alvey surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get swallowed up.
Yeah, he didn't come in to be a prove yourself fighter.
Right.
He was like, no, I'm here to fight, and he put on a show.
Yeah.
This was a very impressive fight for a draw. In the welterweight division, Alex Oliveira, 22-8, 2-0 contest, going up against 12-0 Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Yeah, I like this kid's name, Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Yeah, it sounds like a villain.
And he played the villain that night.
Yeah.
Because I ain't never seen a debuting fighter put on a performance against the likes of Cowboy Oliveira like that.
In the way that he did it,
Yeah.
It was highly impressive.
Oliveira looked to be in great shape, and he had nothing for this kid. Counter right hands, big knee to the body, hurt him real bad. You see Oliveira fold up, jumps right on the guillotine when Oliveira tries to, take him down to survive, and submits him right away, round 1. 2 minutes in, I think. Like, crazy.
It was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah. That kid's something. He's somebody to look for.
Exactly. He's going to have some good fights in the welterweight division. In the catchweight, Nathaniel Wood, 17-4, going up against Casey Kenny, 15-2-1.
Oh, great fight.
Absolutely.
Loved it. This was probably, fight of the prelims for me. Really competitive. Nathaniel Wood on the defense kind of round 1. Because Kenny's throwing that power left roundhouse that he loves to throw. But Nathaniel Wood made him work. He took some shots, started landing better. Towards the end of round 1, round 2, Kenny looked a bit gassed, slowed down.
Yeah, he did.
You know, and
but still throwing pretty well.
Still throwing and still defending well. Takedown attempt for Kenny in the second round wasn't happening.
Which showed that he was gassed.
Definitely
One, he couldn't
showed.
get it. 2, he was going for it.
Same thing
viciously.
in round 3, trying to go for it and couldn't get it, but ends up landing enough and gets himself a unanimous decision out of this. I can't disagree. I think Kenny landed the more significant stuff, throughout the match.
To be honest with you, I was more shocked at the majority. I thought, unanimous. I thought it would have been a split decision.
Yeah, Nathaniel Wood
it did look good. Like he fought really well. So granted, I like Casey Kenny and I expected him to win, and I don't disagree with the win. But with the way sometimes split decisions go, I kind of thought we was gonna get one in this fight.
Yeah. Definitely, I think Wood probably did enough to earn a split to get it from one judge, but the numbers were in his favor a little bit, but Kenny's was more significant.
Exactly.
Every shot was more damaging, so I get it.
All right, and then the featured prelim, the main event of the prelim, heavyweight division, Stefan Struve, 33-12, going up against 10-3, Tai Tuivasa. What we expected to be least of the night, and I feel like it might not have been.
Yeah, this is one of them, throw the 2 big guys in and see who gets knocked out first.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't like either guy.
Going
into this matchup.
Not one bit.
Didn't expect much from either, but Tuivasa, the younger fighter, and maybe we'll see an upswing from him. He came out, he knew the way to beat Stefan Struve. With pressure early, because Struve don't do well with that. He needs time to settle in.
Correct.
And he just wilted under that pressure. Big shots. Was landing him over the guard to the top of the ear because he got to swing up at Struve, and then he lands that big uppercut, drops him down. Nice KO. First round. Fast.
Yeah.
It was a fast one. That was good.
Really
it was
fast
all pressure.
From not the fastest, but a fast one. And to start the main card in the light heavyweight division, finally getting their opportunity to meet each other again in the octagon, Magomed Ankalaev, 13-1, fifth going up against 15-5, 1 no contest, Ion Cutelaba.
Oh man, counter combos. I mean, this is pretty much how I saw it. I knew that Ankalaev was the better fighter, without a doubt. Cutelaba is all rage and pressure and aggression, and that's what got him here. Overpressured. Counter combos from Ankalaev, 39-second KO in the first round.
I mean, I just want to say, it was an early stoppage.
Yeah.
I feel like Cutelaba was trying to play possum again.
Obviously
playing possum again. I mean, let's be clear. We all know that he was playing possum the first time, and there's a chance you might screw up if you play possum too well.
Yeah.
Granted, I feel like if you were watching that, you knew it was possum, and the ref just didn't see it that way. But this was...
It almost looked like the ref was trying to make sure there was no, dispute.
He definitely waited until he was unconscious.
He let him go unconscious.
Yeah,
he drops him with the big shot, the left hand off the combo, and then, he lets him pound him out on the ground.
Oh, big time.
He didn't need to. He could have stopped it there when he fell.
Magomed wanted to make sure that Cutelaba could never ever again say that it was a bad call. Put him out. It was beautiful.
But Ankalaev with respectful words after, and this is a humble kid. He's young. He's on the win streak. Good things for him in light heavyweight.
And light heavyweight division needs some prospects. This is a kid I'd like to see.
I can't really think of a matchup because he's kind of in the middle to me. Like,
you know what?
A step up,
Johnny Walker.
A step up to hard competition should, I ain't mad at that. Yeah.
I feel like their styles match up really well.
Right. But honestly, as I play it out in my head right now, I see Ankalaev knocking him out.
Oh, I see him knocking him out good. So it would be a fun fight to watch.
Yeah.
In the women's flyweight division, making her debut, making her presence known in the flyweight division, Lauren Murphy, 13-4, going up against 8-1, Lilia Shakarova.
Yeah, Shakarova on her debut here.
Oh, okay. She's on
stepping
debut.
in for Cynthia Calvillo, who had
Yes.
to pull out.
Oh,
This
man,
was
I'm
our
so
number
upset.
one contenders fight.
Yeah,
right here.
this was our number one contenders fight, and I'm super when I remembered that she was supposed to fight her, Cynthia,
Right.
I was like, man, that would have been such a great fight.
Shakarova, hats off to her. A little bit of short notice and coming in against possibly a top contender like that. But what do you got to lose? I would take it absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether short notice or not. Lauren Murphy. Hats off to her for fighting this unranked, unknown debuting fighter
When she's
when
on
her
the
title
climb.
shot might be on the line.
Yeah.
Lauren Murphy, however, way too strong. I've never seen her in that good a shape.
Thank you for saying it, because before the fight started, they showed her in the back room, doing her little warm up, and I'm like, wow, Lauren Murphy looks like she's in the best shape of her life.
I never seen her look so strong and muscular. She looked big too.
Yeah.
And was moving well. She looked patient. Round two, she chipping away at Shakarova with punches.
Yep.
Round two, she sinks the body lock in and just muscled her to the ground. Like, it looked like she was just taking a child down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Works,
Big sister playing with little sister.
Yeah, works right to her back and chokes her right out. Right for the rear naked choke.
My favorite thing about this fight is, they always do the pre-fight situation, and Shakarova was running her mouth, being like, Lauren Murphy should retire.
Yeah.
She's slow. This, that, and the other thing. She was really, really going in on Lauren, and Lauren had nothing but nice things to say.
Yeah.
But when she heard this, she was like, I don't even like that girl anyway.
Yeah.
And goes in there, shows that she's got the strength, the speed, the
And
ability
the
to beat you.
right.
She had all the tools she needed to win this fight. Handedly beats her, makes her submit, and the way she got that choke, because she went for the rear naked, got her arm pulled down, put it behind her head, so she couldn't get to it.
Absolutely.
You could see the fear and
the panic.
Yeah, the panic. Thank you. That's it. The panic setting in, knowing she's about to lose the fight.
It reminded me of the face of Poirier when Khabib choked.
Correct. Knowing there's nothing you can do, but desperately,
yeah.
desperately not wanting to lose this fight. Lauren Murphy looked incredible, and I like what she said at the end of the fight. The next time you're gonna see me, it's going to be a title fight, and I will be taking home the title. Now, I don't know if you're gonna take home the title, but I think the way you're talking, you might have just earned yourself that shot.
I don't mind the tough talk. At first it was like, I still got to see you go through Calvillo probably.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it.
But she has pretty much gone through everybody in the top of the division.
Right.
And
I just think Calvillo's too much of a threat, especially after the win over Jessica Eye. I mean, she got to beat Calvillo, because I think if you ask me who deserves a title shot more, I'd go with Cynthia Calvillo.
Okay.
Because of her dominant wins.
Yeah.
It was a decision versus Eye, but dominant, and every one before that was a submission.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, like I said, I was disappointed to not have seen that fight.
Right, this was the fight to see.
So maybe that needs to happen.
I think that needs to happen, and I like the talk from Lauren though. You got to make you got to put yourself up there.
I love the confidence she has in herself.
Why not?
It's a good fight. In the middleweight division, Jacob Malkoun, 4-0, going up against 8-2 Phil Haas.
Oh, I love this. I knew Phil Haas was a wrecking machine. I said before, like, why is Jacob Malkoun even fighting in the UFC with only 4 professional fights?
They tried to claim this, nobody would take his fight, and now I'm thinking maybe no one would take his fight because he's a bum.
Because who was worth fighting him? Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
The only reason why he's fighting in the UFC is because he's part of Robert Whittaker's camp.
Oh yeah, and Phil Haas is a debuting fighter too, and he said, yeah, I'll beat up whoever. And we just seen how good Phil Haas was. Big right hand behind his ear. Nice combo to finish it up. That octagon jitters got the best of Malkoun 18 seconds into the first round.
He looked completely out of his element.
Yeah, scared.
Yeah, and before even first contact was made, it was like it looked like he was like, oh my God, wait, slow down.
Like, hold on, time out.
Yeah. There ain't no timeout in the UFC, bro. But then on to another great fight in the heavyweight division, Alexander Volkov, 31-8. Wow, he has a lot of fights. Yeah. Going up against 13-8 and 1 no contest, Walt Harris.
Yeah, I really wanted Walt in this. We love Walt.
But, we do love Walt.
Volkov showing great stuff more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over. Fast hands from Walt, to start, like we expected. looked pretty good, but once Volkov set the distance, he couldn't get inside. And Volkov does that as good as any fighter I've seen. And then he methodically, slowly picks you apart. Heavy low kicks start beating up Walt's leg, and the straight right hand was working for him. That's such a weapon for him because it comes straight down the pipe. I mean, and a lot of these heavyweights throw big hooks, like Walt Harris, but they don't see that big straight coming, and his arm is so long. But round one, was it round one? I think. Yeah, up kick to the liver.
Yeah. Oh man.
Crumbled Walt.
And once again, I'm getting a little I don't want to say I'm getting annoyed because it doesn't happen that often. But the announcers just not seeing what's happening.
Right.
Like it was a clear shot to the liver.
Clear.
And they're like, oh, I don't think Volkov understands what's going on. He hit him with a low blow, and I'm like, bro, are we watching the same fight?
Yeah, I seen it clear in live time, and I'm not sitting cage side with a monitor that sees close up even.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were seeing.
Yeah, I don't know what they were seeing.
Beautiful up kick. Dug the ball of the foot right into the liver.
It was brutal.
Crunching. You don't come back from that. I mean, that's a heavyweight leg too. And I remember commenting on how big Volkov's hips look at the base of his body. You know what I mean? He's bottom heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why he the wide head.
And that's why he moves methodically and slow. But them kicks come with serious power.
The two things I wanted to comment on in this fight was, one, I really love what I saw from Walt Harris when he got backed up into the cage and Volkov just started teeing off on him. Yeah. It looked like at the beginning of the end, and Walt Harris uses his fortitude and his veteran ability to get out of that and start swinging off his own combos to back Volkov off.
Oh, it's definitely competitive.
Regains his composure and rejoins the fight. But what I like about Volkov, proving once again what I always love that Conor McGregor says this, speed and power doesn't match up to timing and accuracy.
Right, timing and precision. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and that's what Volkov was. It was all about precision and accuracy.
Especially, like I said, that straight right hand. I mean, he was landing that, and Walt was getting scared with that. And that led to the nice, easy body shot. He's blocking all up high. Boom. Straight shot up the middle.
Good way to end the fight.
Absolutely.
And then, co-main event, middleweight division, Robert Whittaker, 22-5, going up against the 13-4 Jared Cannonier. And even though I wouldn't want to say this about this fight, but based on what we've seen all night, to me this almost has to be, weirdly enough, least of the night. Because of Jared Cannonier.
Yeah, because of the lack of competition in a co-main event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For what you expected.
Definitely surprising.
I will say I do know that he said the first kick Robert Whittaker threw broke his arm.
Broke the ulnar bone.
Yeah.
The small bone on the outside. So, I mean, everything he blocked after that hurt terribly.
Terribly.
And he couldn't set his jab. You know what I mean? He can't throw that left hand. He works his boxing off of his jab in a traditional type of style.
And it did seem like something was off.
Right. He still had the big leg kicks. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't get inside the distance. I mean, we know Robert Whittaker's distance and his movement is great.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't figure it out, then that's what happens to you. You stay at the end of his strikes and you get beat up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what we've seen. I thought for sure he was going to finish. He rocks him with the 1-2-10 in the third round.
Yeah.
The 1-2 and the high kick clip.
Yeah.
And as Jared's back and clips him off the top of the head. And, he falls into the cage, goes to get away from Whittaker, and falls on his own face.
Yeah.
But
that
was still
bad.
recovering. I don't know how he survived that, just fortitude.
Yeah.
But yeah, Whittaker really showed great stuff here. Outboxed him. Distance, movement, great jab. Like I said, the big kick in the third.
The only thing Cannonier had going for him was he was working the leg kicks.
Always.
And that and like I said that was going to be the key to his success. And
can't get the hands going when your arm is broken.
Yeah, you can't get. So I am disappointed.
Can't get the takedown going either. Like you can't grapple, you can't punch. So I mean that makes sense. That's all he had.
Yeah. So what I am hoping to see is a recovered Jared Cannonier maybe facing Paul Costa.
Okay.
Because Robert Whittaker is going to be next for Israel.
I believe that it should be a rematch.
It has to be. There is no option.
That should be the fight to make. Whittaker's only thing on his mind is going home to his family and having Christmas and a new baby in January. So, you know, and we know his family is far more important than this fight and stuff to him. So, you know.
But I think maybe Jared Cannonier versus Costa is the fight to make once both of them. Because I mean, I know Costa has some recovery time on him.
Mm-hmm.
Cannonier is going to need a little recovery time. Maybe once the both of them are ready, we get to see the two of them face for the number one contender to face the new champ.
Or we got Jack Hermanson and Darren Till coming up too.
Yeah,
contenders there. You know, so I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Middleweight's interested.
All right, and then
great win for Whittaker.
Yeah, great win.
Decision for sure.
I mean, definitely proved that he is the guy to go up against Israel for a second opportunity. In the main event for the light heavyweight title in the lightweight division, Khabib Nurmagomedov 28-0 going up against 22-2 Justin Gaethje.
Now, if you'd asked me before this fight if Justin Gaethje was possible of having jitters and being nervous, I'd be like, nah, man, he don't care about nothing. That boy just goes out there. As soon as that fight started, I was like, who's this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely terrified.
Deer in the headlights, nervousness. I think it's different. You go up against, you know, the myth of a champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A guy who has such mystique and aura around him that, you know, you could try to say, no, I know what I got, but, you know, that he just didn't.
He did
no
not.
Respect from Khabib for the power of Justin Gaethje. He got right in his face and stayed in his face.
And I have to eat my words because Khabib took
some
multiple shots clean to the jaw
that you heard clapped off his face.
He took it and stepped forward.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, man, this dude's ready.
And I thought, you know, that could be an interesting thing because we've never really seen Khabib's chin tested with a power puncher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, what if it holds up? You know what I mean? What's Gaethje going to be able to do?
Yeah.
I thought that would make him nervous, but he was nervous from the get-go.
From the very get.
Lower
stance.
He settled a little bit, but yeah, I think that threw him off. He's trying to put his hips back, lowering his stance. That threw off his leg kicks. You know, threw off his punching angles.
Although did land some good leg kicks.
He did land some kicks. He did get some punches in there, but Khabib didn't care at all. I don't think that that any man could have beat him that night.
No.
He had a will about him.
Yeah.
You know,
he was fighting for his father.
The pressure was crazy. Takedown to the mount instantly. Everybody, you know, I was like, well, that answers the question. When he mounted Justin instantly, I mean, I was like, well, okay, that tells me everything I need to know. No, he can't wrestle with him.
No.
You know?
No, and that was the one thing we thought that Gaethje was going to have an advantage, and I felt
maybe not
he was
getting taken down, but being able to scramble up.
Yeah.
You know, and he was just as lost as everybody once he
wrapped
his legs on his.
He had two really good takedown defenses before he got taken down, but I felt like his time on the ground might have been the worst we've seen.
Right. The armbar attempt, you know, in the first round, he almost locks up, and then come to find out,
by the bell.
Come to find out though, later in the fight that he eased on it. He says, I believe him too.
Me too. Khabib ain't saying nothing. That's the lie.
Khabib swears that he eased on the armbar because he was like, oh no, Justin's not going to tap, and I'm going to break this young guy's arm, and he's going to be the future of the division.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's class.
That is class. And when I read it, you know, sometimes you hear people say something and you're like, yeah, whatever.
I believe
it.
Yeah. Round 2, takedown instantly. Lost again. Takes his back. You know, Justin's trying to scramble. Looking terrible. He's got him in the mount, the high mount. Sets up the triangle. Beautiful display of jiu-jitsu with that triangle. That's technique of the week for me because I love it when you set it up from mount and roll to your back. It's always 100% guaranteed. It's already locked in tight, and Gaethje had no chance. Taps about three
times,
separate times. Referee can't see nothing. I don't get it.
I mean, the ref was there.
Yeah,
and his hand. It wasn't like it was like a. It was a clap, 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 clap 3 times.
Yeah, that was a terrible.
That ref was terrible in that position. Like, I don't get that.
Outcry of emotion from Khabib that we've never seen, you know, with the sobbing uncontrollably.
Yeah.
Just quite a moment. Historic, like I said.
Super historic moment.
Retires, which, you know, shocked almost everybody.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know?
Shocked everybody. But I respect why and how he did it.
Right.
You know, he promised his mother that he wouldn't fight without his father. And I believe wholeheartedly.
I get it.
Yeah,
you know?
I believe wholeheartedly we will never see Khabib Nurmagomedov
It makes sense. You know, because his father's been his lifetime coach, first coach, been with him every step of the way, every single fight. Why would you want to do it without him?
Yeah.
You know, after the success you've already had, you know, it's not like he has to make a push to get to where he wants to be. He's already where he wants to be.
There's only two reasons I could see him not retiring when he did and waiting one more. Is one, 30 is such a nice round number. Right. And two, there is only one more man in the division. I don't believe he needs to beat him. I don't believe that he should have to beat him. Right. But there is only one man, and that's Tony Ferguson.
That he never got to fight.
He never got to fight him, and he was supposed to. You know, there's guys like Dan Hooker and Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler.
Absolutely.
But those guys weren't in no running at the moment.
Right.
Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight him, and he didn't get an opportunity.
Multiple times, never got to. But, you know what? I don't need to see it.
I don't need to see it. I'm actually not interested in it.
I think I've seen plenty enough evidence that it won't go much differently than the last few title fights that Khabib had.
Yeah.
You know?
And with that being said, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I will say, another historic moment that a lot of people don't know is that in his last fight, I finally got his name correct.
Absolutely.
Just in time.
That's historic.
That is historic. I got his name right before
in the preview,
he could fight it.
In the review, he said it 100% correct.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that's another big moment in the history of Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said...
You had the tiniest bit of practice from Saeed.
Nurmagomedov, yes. Yeah. I had a little prep. And then I got it right for Khabib just in enough time.
So why don't we roll that right into this pound for pound argument?
Yes. So here's the thing. I get it. The man is 20.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I kind of stole a second because we don't need to. We could save some time and not count up the picks. We already know that you beat me this week. So congratulations.
He was 3-0. I had to take the belt away. I finally won a week. I'm trying to hold this for as long as possible, but we'll see what happens.
I'm more interested in a double fantasy football victory this week.
We are facing each other in two different leagues this week, if you don't understand what's going on here. All right. With that being said, Khabib Nurmagomedov has now jumped to the number one position in the pound for pound fighters in the world. And I get it. He's 29-0. He has been dominant, has only ever lost one round in his entire career. So, and then faces the final number one contender in his division and doesn't beat him, dominates him to the point of submission. Yes, that is a great accomplishment. But here's my argument to the counter. It's got to be Bones Jones. And this is why I say that. The only loss on Bones Jones' career is a disqualification on his first fight ever for a simple mistake. Cool. All right, he's got the one. Now you'll say, oh wait, but Bones Jones has split decisions. Nurmagomedov has unanimous or finishes.
Yeah, but 14-4. I mean,
14-4.
As far as world title picture.
Who did he beat to get the title?
I've said this since Khabib's, since he's been the champion.
Yeah.
In the UFC. You know what I mean? Even when he fought Dustin, his resume is not the prettiest thing. You know what I mean? To take a title to beat Al Iaquinta for a title that he wasn't even eligible for that night. Iaquinta missed weight and couldn't even win the title.
Correct.
By a decision at that.
And to get that title shot, he beat Michael Johnson, who I don't even think has won a fight since that happened.
Yeah.
Bones Jones has beat some of the greatest fighters UFC has ever seen. He beat Shogun Rua to get the title. He beat
a pretty prime Shogun.
A pretty prime Shogun.
Because a lot of people are like, if you go through the list, Machida,
Lyoto Machida,
Rampage Jackson. You know what I mean? Lots of people are saying, oh, well, they were past their prime. I don't agree with that.
The only person that might have been past his prime, it would have been Rampage. Yeah. Alexander Gustafsson, one of the greatest fights the UFC's ever seen, Bones Jones comes out on top.
That's the greatest fight in UFC.
Yeah, greatest fight in UFC history. And then faces him again and dominates him.
Complete
domination. Beats, arguably, in my opinion, the second best fighter in the UFC, Daniel Cormier.
But destroyed him twice. I mean, like...
Well, beat him to a decision once, and then...
second time's destruction.
Just complete and utter destruction, and that's his only no contest for what has been admittedly an accidental use of a performance enhancement drug. Not nothing that would have helped him win that fight, but something that was in a supplement that he was using.
Right.
Complete accident. Every single guy he has faced, he has beat in their own fashion, dominated. He's had three split decisions in his life against high-level competition. And the best guy Nurmagomedov beat was Justin Gaethje. And I would say Conor McGregor. The two dominant figures that he faced. Right. Every single guy that Khabib has faced has had losses on his belt, where Jones has beaten guys with zeros. Yeah, they got the O's. How is Bones Jones not the best?
That's all 100% factual. Every single thing you just said. I got nothing to disagree with any of that. My question is, like, are we talking in this argument, which millions of fans are having?
Yeah.
Are we talking the greatest of all time or current pound for pound? Okay, because now if we speak on the differences between the two, I would say in a discussion of greatest of all time, Khabib does not touch Jon Jones because of everything you just said.
Correct.
Pound for pound current, I'm not upset with that.
Okay, I agree with that.
Number one, the man just retired. He ain't going to hold that for long. They're going to take that real quick because he's not active.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, it's more of a showpiece by the UFC. Number one, the rankings that we're talking about are set by the UFC, not by us fans, not by the media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not by the people who really matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Right. So, I think it's a tip of the cap from the
honorary
UFC.
honor.
Right. It's an honorific for sure. Like, as a thank you for all you've done. You put more money in our pocket than most fighters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're probably as far as I know, the only fighter to hold, defend, and retire undefeated.
Yeah.
Because all the greats got a one. The only fighter I consider to be undefeated that hasn't retired yet is Jones. Like, his loss is an asterisk.
Right. And I agree with all of those points. And I don't. It doesn't make me upset to see Khabib labeled that, because of the domination over the past few top contenders in those
no scandal behind Khabib's name.
No scandal. Super great character.
Yep.
I mean, that doesn't really, go into, your fighting ability. But, we take that into account as fans and whatnot. But, yeah, greatest of all time. I think, there's more to be talked about when it comes to, like, Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre towards Jon Jones.
Yes.
Rather than Khabib. You know what I mean? Current pound for pound, because of what he's done to the top contenders, compared to Jon Jones' decision, whereas, some people thought he lost against Santos.
Mm-hmm.
I think he lost against Reyes. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Where Khabib doesn't have any of those.
Right, there's no questions.
Yeah, there's no question marks, and that's to me that's where the question lies.
And I don't begrudge any other fan their opinion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't care, unless it's crazy. You know?
Unless you're calling it Tony Ferguson.
Right. I mean, if somebody tells me, Khabib's the greatest of all time, I got arguments for that, like everything you just said. If they want to say he's a pound for pound in this past couple years, I ain't mad.
I ain't mad. I actually, now that when you put it that way, the current pound for pound, I get, but not greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think people are mixing them arguments together, and I
can agree with that.
I think, if anything, enjoy the man's great career, and enjoy that we all got to see it.
Yeah, and he got to do it for his father. He gets to leave at the top.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna miss watching him fight.
Oh yeah. Of course.
And with that being said,
and I'm gonna miss the anticipation of somebody possibly actually getting him.
Like, oh man, can this person do it?
Yeah.
And
I still feel that about John Jones all the time.
All the time, every time, every single time. With that being said, we now have a vacated light heavyweight title. Lightweight title.
Yeah.
I sent out on my Facebook page a 6-man tournament that I believe the UFC should do. At the top of the mountain, I believe you have to have the two most current lightweight champs, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, at the top, and I give them what we call in football a bye week.
Yeah.
I believe.
I mean, you 1 and 2 seed.
Yeah, 1 and 2 seed.
Top and rest.
I believe if he comes back, Conor McGregor versus the newly minted Michael Chandler coming in, because he was put up in the conversation about a possible sub-in if one of the two men get injured.
Made weight for the event and everything.
Yeah, so if it came to it, I feel like he was put in that conversation, so I'd like to keep him in that conversation versus Conor McGregor.
He deserves a high-level fight, and I really like that because we still need McGregor to prove himself at lightweight again.
Exactly, because you've been at welterweight. Yes, you won your last fight, but in the light heavyweight division, you got dominated by Khabib, and you have a loss to Nate Diaz. I want to see you prove yourself, put him up against Michael Chandler, and let Michael Chandler maybe prove himself. Right. See how he faces against Conor.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Tony Ferguson, a man who is going completely insane, says he's scared the BITCH out of the UFC, talking about Khabib. You're a crazy person. But you're also top of the division, so I want to give you an opportunity. And a lot of people have ignored this one man.
Mm-hmm.
I even seen on Dustin Poirier's page, he puts Dan Hooker in this conversation. I take Dan Hooker out, and I replace him with Charles Oliveira.
Right. I would say so too, because of his, streak of submission finishes and knockouts. He's finishing guys as well.
He's on
his
tear.
Finishing top guys. They just haven't let him fight one of these top 5 guys.
Exactly. And I think this is a perfect opportunity. And then I feel like I got to take it a step further to say that the winner of Conor and Chandler to face Justin Gaethje, stylistically, I think that's perfect. Yeah. Then the winner of Oliveira and Tony Ferguson to face Dustin Poirier. Yeah. Once again, I think stylistically that's a great fight.
Absolutely. And
then obviously the winner of those 2 fights, and I believe all the fights should be in the same event. Not in the same. What I mean is Conor Chandler,
not tournaments.
Yeah,
but.
So in one night, the first 2 fights, the next event, those 2 fights, then finally a UFC pay-per-view, boom.
And we could have it in nice orderly fashion, and everybody would have a nice full camp.
And as long as nobody gets hurt too bad, you can have that done inside of the year.
Right.
By summer of 2021, you'll have that main event.
I like what you mapped out. It's fantastic. I mean, you could even shorten it. You know what I mean? Some people would think that maybe Oliveira needs to do a little more. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight the likes of a Dan Hooker or something like that.
Yeah.
For either one of them to earn their way into that. You know what I mean? Definitely, I love the Chandler McGregor. They both have to be tested at lightweight.
Correct.
And of course, Poirier and Gaethje already went at it, and Poirier finished him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sneaky feeling that, I love what you mapped out, and I totally agree with it.
Yeah.
But I have a sneaky feeling that they're going to make this Poirier-McGregor fight just for the lightweight title.
And I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it at all. I don't
mind Poirier getting a shot, but Conor, gets a direct shot.
Conor is a former champ, but yeah, I don't like it at all.
It's not terrible if whoever wins, because then I think Gaethje comes to fight whoever, and then I still might be the Oracle, and he takes the lightweight belt.
Oh, I think Gaethje is destined for the title.
I do think so. But, yeah, I don't know. I got a sneaky feeling they're going to make that for the undisputed title, and I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't agree with it one bit. I think
We haven't heard any more news on that fight.
Nothing. We haven't heard anything.
Whether they've signed, you know what I mean? It's not official.
Oh yeah, still like I know that they verbally agreed, but no one signed on the dotted line.
I bet Connor's in the ear of Dana White, like, you got to make it for the title now. You got to make it for the title, and I don't know. Hopefully Dana does the right thing.
Yeah.
These guys have been putting in work while he's, punching old guys in the bar.
I think we both have agreed on this on multiple occasions that we don't believe in one fight. Vacated titles. There should always be some form of a tournament, whether it's 4 fighters, 6 fighters, whatever, but it shouldn't just be 2 fighters shouldn't get to step in the octagon and fight for it. And if it's going to be 2 fighters, it needs to be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
If it's not 1 and 2, then it shouldn't even be happening. Pelter Jan going up against Jose Aldo didn't make any sense to anybody in the world.
No, and now we just really got to wait for the real championship in my eyes. You know what I mean? In that division.
Exactly. Which we are getting.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
But,
all right.
Yeah, quite interesting.
What else? Do we have any other news?
Well, Edwards and Chimaev for December. Leon Edwards and Hamzat. I think that's great.
The UFC played this out perfectly.
Yeah, they pushed on Edwards. He's all about his image. He didn't want to fight people that were ranked below him. They said, okay, we'll strip your ranking. And he said, oh, what? Okay, I'll fight him.
Yeah.
I'll do what you say, boss.
This is a dangerous fight for Leon Edwards.
I do think
but a dangerous fight for Chimaev as well. Leon Edwards is not a chump.
But it's finally, it's time for Edwards to just put up a shut up. Like, stop talking. Go out and beat this kid and show you are what you think you are. And, everybody will shut up. Yeah. And then you can demand something. You know what I mean? Go ahead and put this kid away. And then you say, see, this is what I'm talking about. Give me my title fight.
There it is.
I won't be mad at that.
No.
If he comes out, does something interesting, and then makes a demand, that's fine.
Okay.
And Tony Ferguson is insane, talking crazy stuff about Khabib. He says, Khabib's scared. He was saying that he gave Justin Gaethje the title shot against Khabib. Like, I made you the title contender, son. Yeah, by getting your face mashed in the pudding.
By getting destroyed, bro.
I don't know where his head's at, but
he's just crazy. And then he was like, "I'll put my baseball hat up against your country hat, and we'll see which hat wins." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
you're insane, bro."
And again, Khabib's like, "What do you mean, bro? I don't get this." Like when he said, "Put your belt on mine and your belt versus mine," he's like, "What do you even mean? I don't understand."
This isn't real life. That's not real life.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just hopefully he gets a fight and stays relevant, so that's insanity could be interesting.
Yeah.
and entertaining. Instead of just worrisome. Because you just worry for the man talking like that.
Anything else before we jump into this event?
Robbie Lawler out of the fight with Mike Perry due to injury.
That sucks. I hope they get him a replacement. I want to see Mike Perry fight.
Perry actually said, "Give me Chimaev," but they already locked him up with Edwards in December, so...
That would have been awesome.
I wouldn't have minded that.
Not at all.
Because Perry
in the corner with his girlfriend. And I don't know if we talked about it, but Mike Perry actually put out like a competition to be his corner man. Yeah. And I guess the UFC snuffed it. But I'm like, can you snuff it?
Yeah.
Can you like...
He can bring who he wants if they're qualified and if the athletic commission says that they're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got his girlfriend to be cleared by the athletic commission. So they don't care.
That's all I want to see. That's why I want to see Mike Perry be cornered by his girlfriend. Like, it's amazing to me.
I love
it.
If
he wins any fight he wins that way, just makes him more and more of a gangster. So, all right. Let's move on. We got a little bit of time left. UFC Fight Night, Silva versus Hall, October 31st, 7 p.m., Apex Arena. Starting off in the prelims with the bantamweight division, Miles John, 10-1, going up against 9-1, Kevin Natividad.
Miles John's 1-1 in the UFC, decision win versus Cole Smith, and a KO loss against Mario Batista in August. Kevin Natividad on his debut, he's got 5 wins in a row, 3 by KO. I don't like the dude coming off a KO loss.
Yeah,
Natividad was going to make his debut and got hurt. I think I'll roll a dice on him.
I'm going to go with Natividad.
Yeah, why not?
In the women's bantamweight division, Courtney Casey, 9-8, going up against 9-3, Priscilla Cachoeira.
Courtney Casey, 5-7 in the UFC.
Ouch.
It's getting bad.
It's getting real bad.
She's still active because she got an armbar win versus Mara Barella in May.
Yeah.
But then she got choked out by Jillian Robertson in June, the month after. Priscilla Cachoeira, she's 1-3 in the UFC, which is worse than 5-7.
Yeah.
She had 3 losses in a row, bad, but then she comes back in February and knocks out Shayna Dobson with 1 uppercut in 40 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
So,
she got the knockout. You know what? I don't like Courtney Casey anymore, so I got to go with my girl Priscilla.
Yeah, I think Casey's on the decline.
Yeah.
We'll go with Cachoeira.
In the light heavyweight division, Dustin Jacoby, 12-5, going up against 9-3, 1-0 contest. Justin led it.
Dustin Jacoby on his debut, he won the Contender on August 4th with a decision. Justin Ledet, 3-3 in the UFC, 3 losses in a row. Alexander Rakic, Johnny Walker, and Alexa Kamer. That last one against Kamer was in January. So I'm gonna roll the dice on the Contender kid.
Yeah, I remember Dustin Jacoby. He looks good. Yeah. So I'm a follow.
Yeah, on August 4th, that first week of August, show. Yeah, he was good.
In the welterweight division, Cole Williams, 11-2, going up against 17-6, Jason Witt.
A lot of fair matchups in this one.
Uh-huh.
Losing record on the women. 1-1 against a debuter against a debuter. Cole Williams, 0-1 in the UFC. Round 1 submission loss versus Claudio Silva in 2019. Jason Witt, 0-1 in the UFC. Round 1 KO loss versus Takashi Soda in June.
I like Jason Witt because Cole lost to a bum.
Right, and he hasn't fought since August 2019. I like that, more active,
In the middleweight division, Sean Strickland, 20-3, going up against 23-9, Jack Marshman.
Strickland 7-3 in the UFC. He had a KO loss versus Eliza Zaleski, and then a KO win versus Nordine Taleb, but that was in 2018.
Oh, wow.
Hasn't fought since then.
Wow.
Excuse me. Jack Marshman, 3-4 in the UFC. Decision win versus John Phillips, and then a round 1 submission loss to Shabazian at the end of last year, 2019. Shabazian's great. And I don't like this.
Is it all losing record, guys?
I don't like this dude Strickland, so I'm going to go with Marshman.
All right, I'll split it. Finally have a little split. All right, in the bantamweight division, Adrian Yanez, 11-3, going up against 7-2, Victor Rodriguez.
Both guys on their debut. Yanez, Contender winner, round 1 KO at the end of August. Victor Rodriguez, 4 wins in a row by KO, coming off the regional scene.
I like Contender Series winners, so I'm going to go with Adrian.
I'll split it up. This dude got some power.
All right, and then we got the main event of the prelims in the lightweight division. Chris Grutzemaker, 14-3, going up against 11-3, Alexander Hernandez.
Yeah, I think it's Grutzemaker, but close enough. He's 1-2 in the UFC. Losses versus Chad Skelly and Darby Hamosh, and then he got a TKO win over legendary Massachusetts fighter Joe Lozon.
Okay.
But he hasn't fought since 2018.
Wow.
Since he beat Lozon. Alex Hernandez, 3-2 in the UFC. Decision win versus Trinaldo after he got knocked out by Cowboy. And then KO loss versus Drew Dober in May. So win versus Trinaldo, sandwiched by KOs.
I'm going to go with Hernandez.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'll roll the dice on the German kid.
All right.
I'm assuming that's German.
To start I'm pretty sure it is too. Anytime you have that, like the UET, I feel
it's
like
probably like Greutzmarker.
Yeah, Greutzmarker.
Yeah.
To start the main event in the lightweight division, the main event is a gangster card.
Oh yeah.
It's a gangster card,
really
straight
is.
up. Yeah. In the lightweight division,
and it's going to tell us, the next round of contenders.
Yeah, I think so too. In the lightweight division, Bobby Green, 27-10-1, going up against 13-4, Thiago Moises.
Bobby Green, we love around here. 8-5 in the UFC.
But turned a hard corner.
Yeah, had a bad go, a couple fights in a row, but he's got quality decisions, 3 in a row, unanimous. Clay Guida, Lando Venata, that was entertaining as hell. And that demolition of domination over Alan Patrick back in July, I think it was. Thiago Moises, 2-2 in the UFC. He's not so active, maybe fights once a year. His last fight was in May. Michael Johnson with that straight ankle lock. Johnson was lost in that leg lock. I ain't going against Bobby Green.
No, I'm going with all the gangsters in the middle.
Yeah, I ain't going against Bobby Green.
All right. In the middleweight division, Kevin Holland, 19-5, going up against 24-6, Mahmoud Muradov.
Mahmoud Muradov pulled out injury last
so
minute.
it is Charlie
Ontiveros. Yeah, I was really
Okay.
upset about that. Mahmoud, super knockout artist. I thought this was going to be a really good one. Kevin.
Why did he back out?
Injury, last minute. Ontiveros, on his debut, he's got 2 KO wins in a row. Looks like, they just picked him up because they needed somebody.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland, 6-2 in the UFC. KO over Anthony Hernandez, the big straight right hand against Joaquin Buckley, and a nice decision win against Darren Stewart that he definitely got a little gassed out in and got beat up in the 3rd round, but a good win streak for him. I like Holland.
Yeah, I'm going with all the gangsters in this one.
Can't go against Holland. That gas tank needs to hold up.
Yeah. Heavyweight division, Maurice Green, 9-5, going up against 6-2 at 1-0 contest, Greg Hardy. I don't know why Maurice Green took this fight.
I don't know. I think it's I don't know. You gotta fight to
fight
win.
where you gotta
right?
fight.
Yeah, Maurice Green. He probably don't get too much of a pick of his opponent either.
You're gonna fight this guy if you want to fight.
4-2 in the UFC. He had 2 stoppage losses in a row, one a KO and one a submission. Pavlovich KO'd him and Oleinik submitted him. But then with that nice choke off his back against Gian Vellante, Gian Vellante, that's not a huge win though.
Exactly.
Greg Hardy, 3-2 in the UFC. His numbers, 3-2-1, sorry, in the UFC. His numbers aren't as good as he's done. DQ lost because of the illegal knee, but he was winning. Inhaler Gate. Where they stripped him and gave him a no contest.
Yeah.
Decision loss versus Volkov. Completely legit.
But a fight that showed us a lot.
Joe did well. We just seen Walt Harris get beat up bad by Volkov. So, yeah.
Greg Hardy was in that fight, though.
And that was in... The decision loss to Volkov was... Oh, I didn't write... No. This dude, Maurice Green, won in June against Valente, so he's been active. Anyways, but decision win versus De Castro for Hardy in May, and that was his best fight to date.
That was his best fight to date.
De Castro's quality opponent. I can't bet on Maurice Green here. I think Hardy might get his first finish in the UFC.
Wait, first finish?
Yeah, I don't think he's got a finish.
I thought his first fight was the. I thought his first fight was a finish.
Well, no, I think the first fight was the
Contender Series. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
His first real UFC fight was the illegal knee.
Okay.
But he's got 3 wins.
I know he has 3 wins.
Jorge De Castro.
I know his Contender Series win was a knockout, and then he came in. Yeah, you're right, illegal knee, and then I thought he had a knockout over someone.
I think you're right. I think he does. But I think this will be
a good knockout. Yeah, it will. All right.
He's getting better and better.
Co-main event, featherweight division, Bryce Mitchell, Arkansas.
I love this.
13-1. Going up against Andre Touchy-Feely, 21-7. This is going to be an awesome fight.
Yeah, I love this. Andre Feely, 9-6. Brutal hands with decent ground game. Bryce Mitchell, 4-0 in the UFC. Brutal ground game, decent hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an opposite fight. Whoever can keep it in their wheelhouse. Bryce Mitchell with that beautiful twister against Matt Sales.
Yep.
And then that domination of Charlie Rosa on the ground. You know what I mean? In May. Feely is a big step up in competition for him. And I think the UFC got a lot of trust in this kid Mitchell to put him against Feely because this dude definitely got some big hands.
I mean, Max Holloway said the hardest hitter he's ever faced is Feely.
And he fought Feely at the beginning of his UFC career.
Yeah.
And he said that that was in a press conference after he had fought Volkanovski the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Out of all them people he fought between Feely and him, Feely's the hardest hitter. Tough decision loss versus Sadiq Youssef. Then he got that big decision win against Charles Jourdain in June. I don't know, man. It's whoever keeps it in their
Exactly.
wheelhouse. Like, if Mitchell takes him down, Feely can survive, but I think Mitchell will wear him out. If Feely keeps it on the
But they're
feet.
featherweights, man. These guys don't really wear out like
If
that.
Feely keeps it on the feet, well, his pressure on the ground is crazy.
Yeah,
It's control. But if Feely keeps it on the feet, you risk getting clapped with a big shot. I don't know. I like the kid, though. I like Bryce Mitchell, to tell you the truth.
All right, I'm gonna split it up because we don't have enough splits.
I see some big things in his future. You know?
And I said I want to keep it gangster, and Feely's the closest to gangster in that card right there.
I mean, Bryce calls himself Thug Nasty, but
yeah,
Feely's like for real gangster.
yeah. And then the main event, a tribute fight.
Yes.
Uriah Hall, 16-9, going up against 34-10, 1 no contest. The final fight for one of the best that ever did it, Anderson Silva.
Yeah. That's why I had to write a bunch of good stuff about
Yeah.
him. Let's talk about Uriah Hall. 8-7 in the UFC. He's had a tough go, ups and downs.
Mhm.
Some crazy highlight wins, some highlight losses.
Yeah.
He's on the receiving end. He's got an upswing. I think he's recentered himself. He's got a KO win over Bevon Lewis, which we haven't even seen Bevon Lewis since then.
Mm-hmm.
And then a decision win versus Antonio Carlos Jr. However, he hasn't fought since September 2019. He's had canceled bouts versus Jacare Souza and Yoel Romero in 2020.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva. 11 title defenses at middleweight. 13 finishes by KO or submission in the UFC. Silliness to lose his title.
Yeah.
Broken leg, trying to get it back. Decision loss versus Bisping,
Which was a win.
which is garbage. He won that. Decision loss at light heavyweight versus DC. People don't remember that fight.
I remember that fight.
I
remember being mad
to
about
a
that.
decision.
Yeah, and like DC had to like drag him on the ground.
Had to
in that
just
fight.
hold him down,
Yeah.
but couldn't finish him.
Couldn't finish him.
Snuck a decision win in there versus Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
Quality young opponent. Has taken our current middleweight champion Israel Adesanya to the distance and probably competed with him the best.
Yeah.
The knee injury suffered from the leg kick from Cannonier. He's had a tough go since he's lost his title. But it started with his own fault losing his title.
Yeah, and I feel like that happens. Like guys who go on long runs, when they lose their title, they lose something in them.
Right.
We've seen it happen to Jose Aldo.
He surely lost something in his legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
All these guys who have had long reigns,
Mm-hmm.
when they lose, they start losing.
Yeah. But Anderson overall 17-6 in the UFC.
Wow.
Still. That's gorgeous, right?
That is a gorgeous record.
17 fights. Yeah. Oh,
Second most
17
title
wins.
defenses, I believe.
Yeah, 17 wins. Like, whew. Yeah, that's crazy. 13 finishes. So the man's only had 4 decision wins in the UFC out of all that competition. So this is what I mean when you say greatest of all time. Sorry, Khabib. This man's above you right here.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
the competition he fought to get there.
Absolutely.
And you dominated some people on the ground, but like he's embarrassed people on the feet.
And if you look throughout what we did with John Jones's record as well, his first 4 defenses,
Yeah.
Evans, Machida, whoever else. Looking at Anderson Silva is a big name. Dan Henderson,
Yep.
Chael Sonnen,
Forrest Griffin.
yeah, it's just Rich Franklin twice,
Yeah. He's dominated some people.
and he knocked out or submitted all of them. Travis Lutter, who was said to be the best submission guy ever, Anderson Silva tapped him with a triangle. They said
Chael
that,
Sonnen.
yeah, one of the best wrestlers ever gets tapped out. You know?
Not only that, but dominated him for 4 and 3/4 rounds,
Mhm.
and then gets put in a triangle when he realized he couldn't get out of it anymore.
Yeah, I really, really want to see Anderson win this fight.
Yeah, and what I love about this fight is when Uriah Hall first came into the UFC, the first fighter they compared him to was Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
So how fitting is the fighter who was thought to be the next you, even though he didn't live up to it, is now gonna send you out
Right.
In style.
And also, I love this person,
Yeah.
Anderson Silva. He's been a great ambassador for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of the reason of the great relationship with the Brazilian fighters in the UFC. Just everything about him has been, positive his whole career. Another great champion and great person. Humble, classy guy. Says it's his last fight. I want to see him go out on top. I'm going to bet with him. I want to see him take a call out. I'd be happy even if he competes well.
I have a hard time believing that this fight is going to have a finish in it. I believe Anderson Silva, knowing this is going to be his last fight, is going to put everything in it. Mm-hmm. Uriah Hall has turned a corner and has showed us that he is a different fighter. I believe this fight goes all 5 rounds to a decision. I believe it's a split decision.
If it goes that far, it definitely leans towards Hall. With the age and the stamina. I
think it's going to be a split decision, and unfortunately, even though Anderson Silva is one of my favorite fighters of all time, I do believe Uriah Hall.
I don't know.
I
got this feeling like he's a real spiritual type warrior, Anderson Silva, and I feel like he might put forth something like we've seen from him in the past. He might be a different guy in his last fight.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to see him
I really want to see that.
I want to see him win the fight. I'd like to see him finish it, but I just don't know if he's going to.
Either way, it's going to be another emotional night.
Yeah. With that being said, that's all the time we have. We'll see you next week. Until then, see you in the octagon.
Peace.
Have a good